In this video, I'm going to go over SEO versus paid search. Which one is the best one for your service business? So if you're in the business of generating leads online, I'm going to go over which one of these is better for your ROI overall. So stick around, you might learn a lot. This is a very common question that comes up when trying to decide how much money you're going to invest in a particular marketing strategy. If you're like me and other business owners, you're only going to have enough budget for certain things, and we never have an unlimited budget just to do whatever we want. So in this case, you're going to be deciding whether you do SEO or you do paid search. I'm going to start off by just going over what SEO is, because there's a lot of common misconceptions about what search engine optimization involves. So what it involves is optimizing your website, or in some other cases, your Google business profile, or your Yelp Google profile, your Yelp profile, in order for it to appear higher on the searches. When you search for something, you'll notice that certain results tend to go to the first a couple of results quicker, and others tend to always stick around for some reason at the bottom of the page. The reason why this is because certain people optimize their web pages or their profiles in certain other search engines better than the average person. And this boils down to really like luck and guess, because Google doesn't necessarily have a specific guide on how to optimize your web page so that it ranks better. But through time and through certain actions, we've noticed that if you do certain things, it tends to improve the odds that you will get ranked higher. So, for example, SEO for a plumbing company would be different than for a company that is trying to sell something nationwide, just because when someone searches for a plumbing company, it tends to be local SEO, what should be optimized for in that case. But when someone is searching for something that is being sold nationwide, like perhaps financial planning or medical insurance, or just things that can be sold at a bigger scale, geographically, then you're going to optimize for different things. So when you have someone as a plumber, you will most certainly optimize for the near me results, and you will create certain content inside your web page that ranks for a particular city. Because if you consider that Google is going to be browsing your website and crawling your website, then you want to give Google as many pointers that you are a plumber in a particular area. So search engine optimization is the additional actions that you do on top of just posting a web page that will help you to rank higher. It's all these little details that you include on page that will help you. And then SEO is also an activity that happens off page. And when you talk about off page SEO, we are most certainly talking about backlinks. Backlinks are links that take someone to your website that appear in other people's websites. So, for example, if you are a plumbing company, you might want to appear in a particular directory of businesses in your hometown that might have a good reputation, a good domain authority, that might be on the internet for a while, because Google also values when a domain has been active for a long time. So you might want to reach out to the newspaper that has a local directory of businesses and ask them if they can put you in and also put a link to your website. So as they put this link in their website, that links to yours, it will give Google signals that your website is the perfect website for someone looking for a plumber in your city. And if you do this throughout different directories, or even news websites, or even social media websites, then you will accumulate a number of backlinks that will signal Google that you should be the result that pops up when someone is looking for a plumber in your city, or roofer in your city. And many of these actions happen off page, like I said, and that's why they call them off page SEO actions. If you do all of these, in theory, you will rank higher if you do them through an extended period of time and maintain your positions in Google as the highest rankings. You will most certainly improve your traffic, improve your business, sell more, because let's face it, if you have the first, second, or third results in a particular niche in your service area, you will make a lot of money, especially if you live in a large metropolitan area. So it's almost a given that if you are there, you will be making money. So that's why it's so competitive. So the key advantages, obviously, are the long-term results, because once your website starts ranking well, this traffic is essentially free, and quote unquote free, because you have to do all these things to stay there. And those things, if you're not doing them yourself, are going to cost you. But essentially, it's not traffic that you're going to have to pay for. It's not pay-per-click traffic. It's just organic traffic that goes directly to your website. So that's a key advantage, right? And the other one is that you build credibility and trust, because, like I said, in order for you to be doing SEO well, you have to do all these off-page activities. And if you're doing them right, then people are going to start noticing you, right? And not just a search engine, but just people in general are going to give you more trust. And they're going to trust that you're a good option, because if 100 pages, 200, 1,000 pages in the internet talk about you and link to your website when it comes to a particular service, then it must mean that you're a great fit for that service. So it gives you that credibility. And then it's also compounding over time, because you can interlink between your pages inside of your website. So if you are ranking for a particular service, and inside of that content you link to another service that you also offer, then in a way you will be compounding the effect and the traffic that you get for that page into other pages in your website. So it kind of just like seeps into other areas of your website. It just drips into other areas of your website and creates this compounding effect like a snowball. The challenges, though, are that sometimes SEO takes time. So for example, if you're a new website that just got published today and you want to rank for a particular service, you won't be able to, because for the first 3 to 6 months, Google places you in a kind of sandbox. They want to see like how your site reacts over time, how it posts content, how people react to it. They're not going to really give you any priority, because there's people that have been doing this for 10 years, and their websites have been trying to rank for a certain keyword for 10 years, and they've been in business for 10 years. So they're just not going to give you any sort of priority. Maybe after 6 months, they'll start placing you and giving you some impressions so that people can see you, eyes can get on you and see if people actually click on your result, and if they do, how much time are they spending on your website, etc. But it takes time, right? It's going to take a year, 2 years, maybe more to rank, depending on how competitive the keyword is and how good your content is. But it's not something that's going to happen just from one day to the next. And the other thing is, another challenge is constant optimization. Like I said, once you're in the first results, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to try to be going after that first result too. So how do you maintain that? Well, you're going to have to do optimization constantly, more backlinks, improve your content, create new content in other areas of your website to link to the content that's already ranked. There's just a lot of challenges that go into that to maintain those spots. Just to give you an example, we have a client that is ranking for a really high uh, result for one of their services. Last month, we were the first result when people search for that service, and this month we're on the second spot. And just that tiny little change was about a 40% drop in traffic just because people go straight for the first result almost always. So keep that in mind when it comes to SEO, because a tiny little change like that can affect you a lot. And like I said, the competitive nature is also a challenging part of SEO because everyone wants to rank highest, and they're going to be investing a lot of money so that they can rank the highest. They're going to be paying people to create backlinks for them. They're going to be paying blogs to link to them as well. Public press releases are going to be a common thing that you see when people are trying to increase their Google rankings and improve them. So it's just very competitive. And if you're in a metro area that people are making a lot of money if they're on the first results, then it's just going to make it a much more competitive. So keep that in mind when you're planning to do SEO. So now let's look at paid search. And we've looked at paid search for a while now, and you probably know all about it. I think pay-per-click is something that's been around for a long time, so it allows people to know a little bit more about it. Paid search is just buying ads on Google or Bing. If you pay for an ad, you will appear immediately on the first result. People will see that it's a sponsored ad, but still you will have the chance to be there immediately. So that's the key advantage, first advantage that I want to talk about. When you pay for search ads, you're going to be there almost in a couple hours, depending on how quick it takes Google to approve your ad. If you also buy like local service ads, then you will appear on the first results as a Google guaranteed service. And this is great for your business because you're going to be getting calls immediately. And if you're good with closing, then you're going to be closing gigs immediately and new clients immediately. There's also very precise targeting that happens when you do Google search, right? Because you can do Google search and Bing search by keyword. You can be very specific and only focus on the keyword that you're interested in bidding for. So if you are a financial planner, but you know that a certain service gets you better clients than another service that might be, giving you a little bit of less quality client, then you can just focus on that one. And that's something that you can't really do with SEO because it's just something that's open to interpretation by Google, and you can't be as specific with SEO as you can be with paid search. And it's also a great thing that paid search has the advantage of having flexible budgeting. So if you want to spend more on a particular day or on a particular hour or on a particular keyword, you can do that. And this is great for your strategy because, like I said, you know your business better than anyone else, and you might want to focus your efforts on something more than the other. And this is something that you can easily do with paid search. But there's a lot of challenges with paid search, right? And the first one is cost, because not everyone has an unlimited budget. You have to account for the fact that if you're starting out, you have to pay your workers, you have to pay for other forms of advertising, you have to pay taxes, insurance. There's so many things, and this is an additional cost that you put in, and it's an expensive cost, mind you. If you consider that perhaps a call will cost you $100, $135, and you won't close a client with just one call, right? Maybe you need 3 or 4 calls before you close one. Then that means that you have to pay $600 for one new client. And if that makes sense for you, then that's great. But not everyone has the amount of money that's needed in order to have 3 or 5 clients a week, which would be maybe between $1,800 and $4,000 a week. Not everyone has that money to invest right away. So it can be prohibitive of getting into it because it's just expensive. The other thing is like, once you stop paying, you get no results. So it's just temporary. If you rely solely on PPC instead of SEO, then you'll need to maintain a budget indefinitely in order to be getting these results. And what happens with SEO is that you don't really get click fraud and like competition um, on your keywords, on your headlines. But with paid search, you do have like this click fraud aspect that your competition might hire people or do it themselves to click on all of your ads in order to like burn your budget quickly. Google has been working a lot on this, and I've gotten some accounts of my clients to get even money back when they notice that it's like a false click or a click that's just like a bot or whatever. But it's still something that happens, and it's affecting a lot of people in different industries. So it's very competitive. Click fraud's a thing. But paid search is great if you have the money and you know how to use it. So when should you use SEO? Like, I've tried to come up with a way of explaining to you that you should be using SEO and you should be using paid search at the same time. But if you, for example, have a lot of time to invest but not a lot of money, I think you should be focusing on SEO. Why? Because if you consider that perhaps with AI you can write a blog post or a web page for your website within like a couple of minutes, and then just kind of polish it and make sure that it's adjusted to whatever you need, and then post it, and then start going online and backlinking to it to that page. Maybe it'll take you like a couple hours a day to work on your SEO if you don't have the money, and it's a pretty well time spent. It's time that's gonna eventually lead to a good result. But for local businesses, if you optimize for local search terms, then you will attract customers searching for your specific services. So it works well when you want to establish credibility and authority in your industry, when your business has a longer sales cycle where trust is important, and when you're looking to reduce paid marketing costs in the long term, right? Because we know for a fact that SEO isn't going to work immediately. Um, SEO is something that you should use just overall, not just on Google. You should use it on YouTube. So if you can create some videos, I think this is one of the hacks that I found in the last couple of years that really helped my clients is creating videos, because Google is a search engine as well. I mean, YouTube is a search engine as well. Create some content there, link it to your website, and then you can start getting more visibility and more traffic, and use all of the different SEO tactics to make your YouTube title, your YouTube thumbnail, and your description more SEO friendly, so that the search engine, YouTube, discovers it and then places it in the first couple of results when someone look for something. So that's when you should use SEO. And when should you use paid search? Well, like I said, you should use both all the time if you can. But if you need fast results, such as during peak seasons, do it, right? Because if it's peak season and you just started doing SEO, it's going to take a while for it to give you any results. But if you want to do things like high intent keywords like emergency plumbing or same day HVAC repair, and generate immediate leads, then you can use paid search and you can start getting them right away. If your competitors are dominating like organic search and you need visibility because there's like really no way for you to like rank on the first position of Google, the first result, then use paid search. If you also have a flexible budget that allows for ongoing ad spend, and mind you, like I'm not saying like a huge budget, but just something that you feel comfortable spending every day for the next 6 months. Um, then if you can allow yourself to do that, then you should be using paid search. So having said that, how can you more or less balance both of these. The way I would do it if I was starting out, let's divide it into three scenarios. Let's divide it into first, the person who's starting out. If you're starting out and you don't have any reputation online, your website is new, and this is the first time that you're doing marketing online, SEO is very hard and paid search is fairly easier and quicker results. I would focus perhaps 80% of my budget into paid search and 20% of my budget into SEO. Why? Because you don't want to just give up SEO completely. You want to start building the structure and just the foundations of your SEO strategy, so not forgetting it, but you need clicks fast, right? If you want to get jobs fast. So I would dedicate 80% of my budget to a paid search campaign on Google, and start seeing some traffic come in. And what people will notice when they're starting out is also that Google will give them a little bit of more organic traffic, even though they're fairly new, if they're spending money on paid search. So they kind of reward you in that way. The other thing is, and the other scenario is when you've been doing it for a while, your website has been online for, let's say, a year or two, and you also have money coming in from jobs that people have paid you for, that came from your organic effort of just having your website up, your Google My Business profile up, etc. If you have that, then I would go to about 40% into SEO and 60% into Google search ads. Why? Because let's face it, SEO is also a great way of generating traffic. It doesn't mean that it's less powerful than Google Ads. In fact, in some cases, people who have really dialed it in can get a lot of new business and a lot of leads just by organic search. But it's because once they reach a certain point, they start investing into SEO, which means paying someone to do backlinks, paying someone to create content, paying someone to go through and fix any technical issues that your website might have, as far as like speed of loading, the images, how big they are. There's certain things that are technical on-page issues that you need someone that can go in and help you with them. So I would go 40 and then 60 into paid search campaign. So if you have $10,000 to spend a month, I would do $4,000 into SEO and $6,000 into paid search, more or less. So, and the last one is, if you've been doing it for a while, your website has been ranking well for 5 years, and then you are also having a lot of work coming in from that website, I would do about a 50% SEO and 50% paid search, because you want to continue being on the top results. You don't want to drop, like I said with that example, just one drop in one place for my client was about a 40% drop in traffic. So you don't want to risk that. You want to keep feeding backlinks, keep feeding content to your website, keep making Google see you and signal to them that you're the best option. But you don't want to give up paid search either, because it's like an environment that you've created. So I would do 50% SEO, 50% paid search. So in conclusion, when you have to choose between both, uh, then I would do, if you're new, paid search. SEO, don't mind it that much because it's going to take time. If you are more advanced, then I would do about half and half, just because both, you need to maintain your rankings and also invest into paying for traffic so you can dominate the impression share. But it's something that you should be doing in tandem, right? all the time. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I know we went through a lot. And if you have any experience, good experience that you want to share with us, please share it with us because I know it's going to help a lot of people in the community. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you really liked it, and I'll see you in the next video.